Hello and welcome to Ketchikan, Alaska, which is the last stop or the last port on our NCL Encore Alaska cruise. We decided to do an NCL excursion today called Lodge and Sea Fest. Wilderness Lodge and Sea Fest. I think that's what it was called. But anyway, it was definitely the word lodge and the word Sea Fest, and there was only one of these here in Ketchikan to do. So this is once we took a shuttle from the pier to a resort nearby. They put us on this other little resort with a landing, and you can see that this is a place where people stay. There was a small harbor, and here is where we caught our boat over to the island where the Sea Fest would begin.
Very sought after oysters, actually. A lot of people really like Off Island oysters, but I've tried them. I'm not a big oyster guy, so that's the only oyster I've ever had, so it's the best oyster I've ever tasted in my life. I can't say I've had it, I've tried it. You have to get it down to have it. So I have tried an oyster before. But I do want to point out something on the right side over here. So on the right there, you're going to see just a whole bunch of different colors on these rocks here. So Ketchikan's average tidal fluctuation is about 15 feet every 6 hours. So it's pretty dramatic and pretty intense. So that's a pretty normal tide day for us. So we'll go from 1 or 2 feet below sea level up to 13 or 14.
Okay, and we've now arrived at the island, very small island, where there is a lodge. That's the lodge part of the title of the excursion. And here at this lodge is where we will first go on a walking tour through the rainforest. And then at the end of our trek, we will have a seafood fest here at the outdoor restaurant. So here we go, starting our walk to the rainforest.
Pulp mill. And then he decided that this was a great place to put a fishing lodge. He was just going to use it for a cabin for his family, and they were just going to have a little plot of land out here. But he decided to put a fishing lodge out here, so he bought the lodge from somebody else who was already a floating lodge. They moved it out here, and it was about, if you drew a triangle between the metal buoy that's in the bay there and the Miss Logan, and you kind of went out to that farthest point on the triangle, it'd be about in that region. But in 1993, most of southeast Alaska. The Tongass National Forest is 17 million acres, so it's pretty big, and it goes from just a little bit south of Ketchikan all the way up to just a little bit south of Juneau there. So it stretches most of southeast Alaska, like I said. But the environment and what you're seeing is called a muskeg. So it's M-U-S-K-E-G, and it's not a bog, and it's not a swamp, but it's also not a living forest floor. But it's not a, it's not a dry forest floor, but it's a living forest floor is the way that I like to explain it. So
M-U-S-K-E-G?
Yeah, muskeg. So it's always growing, it's always changing, it's never the same day to day. There's a couple logs here that when I got here this spring weren't covered in moss, and now they are. This one right here, this one that's leaning, this moss is all, the only part that had moss on it was right down here at the base, and it has now grown all the way up that log since April this year. So it's impressive how fast things grow. We get about 280 days of rain every year, and that adds up to about 12 feet every season throughout the year. And then our record for
It's nice and shaded.
Yeah, look at that. Tons of moss. Fresh air.
I'm having a year woods.
The more fresh air, the more moss. Yeah.
Look at just the coats everywhere.
Yeah, it's because the air is very clean.
Roots in the thing.
The Sitka spruce. Huh. Coming up.
I can't believe it.
fresh air.
Look at this. It looks like carpet.
I know.
But it was a memorial to another one of the big
Let's see.
What is that? Crab? No, it's an octopus. Right?
Yeah,
Huh.
it's an octopus.
very big tree.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think it was leaning that hard yesterday. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I did ask Mr. Thomas there if he noticed if this tree was very big tree.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think it was leaning that hard yesterday. I'm just kidding. I did ask Mr. Thomas there if he noticed if this tree was leaning any farther than it was when he first found the tree. And he said that they were really worried about that and building the boardwalk up here. So they measured it for about 5 years before the trail stopped right here to where nobody would be standing under it if it did fall. But they measured it for about 5 years and it didn't lean a single angle more. And they've continued to measure it and it hasn't leaned another degree. So we're doing good that ways. But I do want to tell you the story of this tree, and then I'll tell you kind of the dimensions of it because it's pretty impressive. But so Mr. Thomas, he bought the parcel of land from the Ward Cove pulp mill, right? The property line, if you want to know where the top corner, I'm trying to think of my directions right now. The northeast corner of Mr. Thomas's property is. It's actually right up there. You can see the orange flagging tape hanging off the ridge up there. So that's the northeast.
All right, and now that the walk is over, we're out of the rainforest and we're heading over to the outdoor dining area, which is at the lodge itself. And this is the view right from the patio of the lodge. Beautiful. Striking.
Just came off, so they're going to be nice and hot.
Seafest. I think that means a little bit of everything, is my guess. Yeah.
This is just like Louisiana.
Yeah.
Crawfish boil.
I'm just gonna scooch right in here.
Same
Are you guys ready?
Nice job.
Thank you.
Okay, and after our sea feast that we had for lunch, we decided to just walk around a little bit right by the shoreline. They do have a gift shop. They have, bathrooms. They have places where you can wash your hands. And there's certainly a little bit more to explore right here at the lodge itself. That's what we did. And the buoys.
Lots of buoys.
And so all that's left is to get back on the boat to take us back to Ketchikan. And here we are just lining up and getting ready to get on the boat. And once we got off the boat,
So yeah,
That's quite big.
got a couple different kinds. Yeah.
Thank you.
and that was the end of our day at the Alaskan Lodge and Sea Feast. And now we're going back to the boat, and that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you soon on our next adventure. But we're so happy that you joined us here in Alaska, and in particular here in Ketchikan. Thank you, and till next time.